Snow.
Hey, MJ.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I guess I'm okay.
We're making pizza. How can you just be okay?
I think I'm getting old.
I think so.
I'm like losing my memory. Like I forget. Like we're making pizza. The whole point of this podcast was to try recipes with pizza, Bootsie's Delta Funk.
With Pete's new sauce.
Yeah.
The Pineapple Xpress.
Pineapple Express. And I'm on my way here and I realized I didn't bring the sauce with me. I had to turn around and go back.
The most important ingredient.
It was. And so we got Bridget.
Howdy.
How you doing? It's been a while since you've been on.
It's been a minute.
We've missed you.
Oh, missed you guys.
Yeah, we meant to have you on before. But we thought because you've already tried Pete's Pineapple Express.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you make it with?
I did chicken wings. I went kind of simple on it, but
Did you want them in like an air fryer?
I did them in the air fryer, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
They turn out crispy.
Uh-huh.
Now, did you dip them in the sauce, then air fry them, or do you?
I do them naked and then I dip them.
Okay.
I'm a naked wing person.
Okay.
Okay.
I use a lot of his dry rubs on it, and we also have
Another
hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
Hello.
Hot sauce. Have you had the new sauce? Did you have some of the chicken wings?
He took a taste of it out of the bottle.
You don't like chicken wings?
They're fine.
He wasn't there for that.
Oh, okay.
I see it. I had the bottles for like 10 days, and I had to restrain myself because I told Snow I'd wait for her before I tried it.
And
but
you
no,
lied.
I lied. I opened up the bottle and I did a little finger taste test on it. Are you afraid to? Can you give your real name here?
Can I what?
You want to give your real name, or you just want to go with hot sauce?
Hot sauce is fine.
Okay.
I don't know where we're going to end up, so.
You're supposed to ask him that before the show.
Hey, but we can talk about anything here. We're open.
But still.
How did the hot sauce come about?
That's me. He likes hot things, spicy things.
Oh, well, you're...
Me too.
Oh, well, you're
Like really spicy.
All right, you're going to like this.
Yeah.
Then.
I hope you like our pizzas.
Yeah.
I hope so, too.
I hope it's not like a brutal disaster.
I was a little worried because I'm like, I hope they like spices and stuff.
Well, pizza's like sex. Even when it's bad, it's still pretty good.
Right?
So, yeah.
Oh, shit. I guess how many more minutes do we have before the pizza's done?
Probably like 2.
Two more minutes.
Let me
2 more minutes to
check
count
real quick.
down. What can we talk about?
Yeah, like 6 seconds.
6
5,
seconds.
4,
5, 4,
2,
3, 2, 1. All right. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take a commercial break and try some of this pizza that we came up with these creations. Hopefully it's good. And I guess this episode is sponsored by Bootsie's Delta Funk Barbecue, where you can get the Pineapple Express. Well, you can actually put an order. They sold out with the first batch on it. You can put an order out and you'll be prioritized when the new batch comes in. So we will take a break. We'll try the pizza and then we'll get back to you. Okay? All right. All right, and we're back.
And stuffed.
Yeah, the pizza experiment is over with. All right, so we've got our. I don't know if I want to put. I don't want to put pressure on them with the judges.
They don't know whose pizza was whose.
All right, Snow, you give your first one, and then I'll give you one of mine, and then we'll go back and forth.
My all-time favorite, then?
No, just go with your recipe. I'll go give you mine.
Oh, my recipe?
Then yours, then mine, and then we'll discuss what they thought.
Okay, so my recipe, I'll go with my first one, was a generic idea. I decided to make a spicy Hawaiian since it was the Pineapple Express. So I used Canadian bacon, some diced jalapenos, onions, and black olives. And cheese, of course.
And
And of course the Pineapple Express.
And generic though,
And
that was
pineapples.
That was
Dang it.
pretty damn
Pineapple
good.
tidbits.
My first one, I went with a chicken habanero, and I wanted to do mango, but being Kingman, I couldn't find mangoes, so I went with some orange in it, and I added a little bit of pineapple with mozzarella.
To make it tropical.
Yeah. Oh, and I used the Bootsie's all-purpose spice to cook the chicken in.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and your second one was?
My second one was I did not like that one on my own. Like, I was trying to do a Chicago dog style pizza, so I did like a sausage. Because I didn't want to use a hot dog. I don't know about hot dogs on pizza, but so I did like some kind of chicken sausage, and then grilled onions and bell peppers and some more jalapeno, because you're supposed to use like a spicy pepper.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any celery salt. I think that's what would have done it.
Yeah.
I really
I
believe that.
thought that one was good too. And on my second, believe it or not, I ripped off Great American Pizza. And I went
Yes.
with the pastrami.
Manga pizza, you mean?
It was
That's what I
pastrami
call it.
and pickles on a pizza, which I never thought pickles would work on pizza, but it actually does.
It's amazing. I should put pizza on my Chicago one, because I'm going to tell you, that one was my favorite, the one with the pickles on it.
Yeah.
That's the one I liked
Yeah,
best.
that would have gone good on the Chicago one.
Yeah,
so-
I know. I really
so,
blew
hey.
it.
But so, Pete, yeah, your Pineapple Express works great on pizza. You're welcome.
But we should ask our guests.
Okay, so what did you guys think? You're the judges.
My favorite was the pastrami one. Was that pastrami and pickles? Or
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
the second was the spicy one.
Oh, cool.
All right. That's pretty even.
That was what my favorite and runner-up was, too.
And hot
Yay.
sauce?
I liked the pineapple one the best. Yep. It was a little bit sweet, just
Oh.
a tiny bit,
Yeah.
which I'm not against, but I'm not totally for. And then it was kind of a tie between the pastrami and the sausage. I think the sausage would have won if it was a spicier sausage, but I'm a spice lover, so that's probably why. But I think they were very close. I like a pizza with a lot of toppings, so that's the pastrami one was kind of meaty, which I love the meat part. And then the last one was chicken, and I have nothing against chicken, but on a pizza, I'm just not that type of a pizza eater.
I think because the pineapple mustard only has a hint of pineapple, but so I added some pineapple to it, and I think I went too far in the pineapple. It was a little bit too overwhelmingly, in my opinion.
What were your favorites?
I liked your Chicago one.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the pastrami one I thought turned out pretty good.
Yeah. Pickle on pizza is amazing, folks. If you haven't tried it, I suggest you do it.
Well, we got time to perfect this before we write the cookbook for Pete.
Oh,
Yeah, and I don't think I'm ever going to make a pizza without pickles on it again. I'm just going to work around the pickles. Like, the pickle is the main ingredient.
Now I'm thinking a deep fried pickle dipped in that sauce.
Oh.
Heck
Hell
yeah.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Maybe that could be an appetizer
Yes.
to your leg of lamb thing that
Okay.
you're doing. Okay?
Yep. Get on the rub, the coffee rub there, Peter.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe we
And,
should.
and invite me.
Okay.
Invite me to taste.
Absolutely.
Maybe we shouldn't put all these ideas out there because Pete can take all these ideas now and leave us out of it.
He can just steal them from us, and hopefully he'll at least send us sauces, hint, hint, and rubs.
And
Hint, hint.
if anybody does hear Pete doing any shenanigans, you can now email us at realityredemption@yahoo.com. I find us up an email, so any questions, comments, opinions, reach us there.
Hate mail.
Email, yeah.
Mhm.
We accept all of it.
Hey, Snow, why don't you give a plug for the beer that we're
Okay.
having with us?
We're having Mango Cart beer. It's Golden Road Brewery. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't
Yeah,
see
can't give them a proper
where they're from. Like to do.
And I thought that was good because I had to use orange in mine, and I was meant to use mango.
They're Los Angeles, California. Is where this is made.
Yeah, the other thing on I should have done less pineapple on that one and more habanero though. So note to self on the next
Yeah,
time we do
it
this.
wasn't bad though.
No, all four were pretty damn good.
They were all
pretty
pretty
good.
good.
And I was actually kind of like going, oh, I don't know how this is going to go on pizza. You know, I was just like, this could go either way. But no, it turned out actually pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We should have a pizza making party, and everybody has to make pizzas. That would be fun.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm going to come up with like a maybe like a barbecue pork pizza with his hot as funk sauce.
And pickles.
Yep.
Oh my God! What if you did fried pickles on a pizza? I'm in the pickle mood.
You know, Snow, this town needs a more liberal pizza place to combat the one that's out in
We're
Gold Valley.
opening our own pizza place to compete with MAGA Pizza.
We will get absolutely no business.
It is going to be called Socialist Pizza. We share everything, folks. Oh wait, no, that would be Communist Pizza. Like,
How do we make
no,
money then?
everybody has to.
Mal's
put-
Pizza.
Huh?
Mal's Pizza.
Mouse pizza. Oh. Yeah.
We'll accept the EBT cards, you know. So
Yeah, we do. We will accept EBT.
Magic mushroom pizza.
Yeah. So
That would be a good one.
so the big news this week was the missing girl from Florida. She's 21, I believe, Gabby Petito. And her and a fiance were traveling across country, hiking along the way. And I guess they'd gotten into some kind of altercation where the police were called. And later on the trip, he shows up back in Florida in her conversion van, and she's nowhere to be found.
He killed her.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well,
We don't know that for sure.
I've seen. Yeah, we don't know for sure. You've got to gather all the evidence. Look at the DNA evidence. All the.
Well,
Careful, dude. There could be like some fibers you don't even know about. Like I fall asleep to forensic files.
When the police wanted to question him, he disappeared though. Out to the Florida.
Didn't they find her body like
Swamp
some
area.
internet?
Yeah, they found her
eagle-eyed
body.
internet person?
They found because
her.
because somebody set up like cameras at one of these national parks for whatever reason, and they were reviewing the film, and they found her. They saw her van, which they started searching the area, and they found her body
Where'd they find her body?
in the brush or wherever, because it's Utah, off the
So
hiking
he
trail.
like pushed her off a cliff or something. Or?
I heard something today that they found bullet holes near her body.
Whoa. Okay. Well, I'm sure they'll do all the.
Yeah, well, no, they did the autopsy, and it was a homicide. And
But what was the death by gunshots or?
Bridget, did you know? Did you hear? No. I've heard a couple of different things. Like they were searching this one swampy area where it's really hard to get into, and they were sending a dive team down into the lake there to try to search for his body. But I also saw like 500 miles away, somebody had a deer camera, and they spotted somebody with a backpack that happened to look like him. So I guess we'll see. But who disappears right when the police want to question you?
And it's like I have so many questions like for this guy. Did you plan this trip so you could take her out there and kill her? Or was it stuff that happened along the way?
See, the thing is, it looked like they were having fun along the way by what they were posting on social media, but that gets to the point. One of the points I wanted to make is sometimes on social media, you look all happy and stuff like that, and you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes.
Like half of my high school friends.
I know.
Girl, I know your real life.
Isn't it funny, like, when you hear about your friends getting divorced and be like, huh, didn't see that coming. They always looked happy on Facebook. The second point that I wanted to make on this is a lot of people were posting, on left-minded people, were how the media was making a big deal about this particular case because she was a pretty 21-year-old. When this happens all the time in the Native American community, this happens a lot. It happens a lot, but you can't really blame the media because it starts to get attention and it starts to snowball and everybody starts posting their theories on social media and the media starts reporting it more. I don't think the media is really ignoring all the other stories. There was a comedian years ago who did this bit about, there was the blonde girl that got murdered by a good-looking guy down in the Caribbean or something like that.
Oh, or the one that was the model. I just saw her forensics episode. The one that she used to be like a Raiders cheerleader, and then she went on the modeling shoot, and the guy killed her on the shoot.
Who was the comedian that did the bit, though, that it's always the pretty girls that get the attention?
Sounds like Chris Rock or something.
I think it was Chris Rock that did it.
I just don't understand, why fight over that? Why make,
What do you mean?
They're, someone's dead, and so they're just this happens every day, and you're only focusing on this.
Yeah, I mean...
Okay, but somebody's still dead. I mean, my God.
Could you imagine... the news would be 24 hours of forensic stories if they
it
covered
would be
every case.
even more depressing because we know every fucking case
Yeah,
where somebody got murdered. I'm not saying that yet. If a case is so unusual like this is kind of like an unusual case. They go on a trip and everything seems okay by the social media things, and then it turns up someone's dead. When there's this whole string of social media postings, does that happen every day?
But there was all sorts of red flags too. Her mom was getting weird text messages from her and stuff like that. That looked like they were probably written by him. Looking back,
right?
And there was video of the police talking to her, or they had an argument, and then they said, "Oh, just go sleep it off." They didn't address the problem. They just kind of shooed them away.
Yeah,
and that's important to call attention to that because the police do act like that sometimes.
Yep.
I had an issue where I had a domestic violence situation, and my former roommate tried to tell the police, "Hey, this guy keeps calling my roommate and harassing her. Mm-hmm. He's over here on the phone, the payphone at Circle K when they used to have one there. I don't think they still do, but And the cops were like, sounds to me like you're looking for a fight. We can't do anything until something happens." And my roommate at the time was just like, "Look, I just kind of wanted you to go say something to him so maybe he would just leave and go home and he wouldn't continue to harass, kind of diffuse things."
Yeah, well, I had a domestic dispute earlier this year where the guy got out the next day because of COVID protocols, and I tried to get a restraining order and they wouldn't let me because they said it was an isolated incident.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like they're well, we don't want to deal with this. Well, what do you want to deal with? What? Sometimes I wonder, what is it that, because I lean more and more towards things where it's maybe I already agree on a lot of situations where, it should be social workers called in versus the police to certain situations.
Right. And that's what I think the term that one side came up with, defund the police, it was the stupidest possible term.
It's very bad phrasing. Right. It's maybe reform or,
reallocation of funds, maybe. Well, I guess that would be defunding the police.
Just get a better system. I don't know. Adjust, please.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't know what's a good word
I mean,
for it.
we've said that, and I don't think it's to take a partisan side by saying that.
Well, no, we all know-
mental health awareness.
We all know that there are good cops too. I mean, there's plenty of good cops. If you watch the forensic shows, there's plenty of good cops on there who do good things.
Oh, I had an incident, and I'll tread carefully, but I had a break-in at my work where some property got stolen out of a customer's car, and the cop was one of those cops, and I'm not bagging on cops, but I'm bagging on this type of cop. Comes in with an ego, big, puffed out the chest, has a sarcastic comment for everything I was trying to say to him, and basically calls me a suspect in front of the customer. I'm like, why would I have called you? Well, you got into the vehicle and you got your fingerprints all over it. That's what I do. I get into vehicles. So, I don't know. But speaking of mental health, September is Suicide Awareness Month. If you find yourself in crisis, call 1-800-273-8255. I know things have been rough over the past couple of years, and there's a lot of depression going on. I myself being bummed. I've been really bummed over the last few weeks. Not like suicide awareness bummed, but then really down and stuff like that. So I think that is one cause that's really important to Snow and I and this podcast, and trying to raise awareness for suicide. And everybody's got a purpose. Everybody wants you around, and there's always help. It always gets better, even when it seems like crap. But
and people will really miss you if you choose that.
Yeah, you've been through it, haven't you? Mm-hmm. I've been through it. Yeah, but you guys have both been through it. Yeah, the pain you leave behind.
Yeah, there's a line from a NoFX song. Suicide isn't painless when you leave everyone in pain. It's true.
Yeah. So we'll get into the next subject, and then I'll turn it over and we'll talk about some other stuff. So we go from suicide awareness to I went to the Life is Beautiful Festival in Vegas over the weekend, which is phenomenal. I just went Saturday, but it's a music, food, art festival, and that they pretty much shut down half of downtown Vegas, like the near the highway on that side where the container park is.
Yeah.
For about 10 blocks on that side of town, they just shut down, and there's like 4 or 5 music stages, all sorts of art, really great. Green Day headlined that night, which they were phenomenal, just absolutely amazing. They kicked ass, and actually got front row somehow, because I kind of stood off the stage right. If you're facing the audience, I was off to the right where the stacks of amps are, standing right in front of the big video screen, but you could see the stage. And I'm probably going like...
Did they do it at that one outside
venue
where we saw Social D?
No, it's more towards the highway. It's right next to the highway, but they build this like a stage you would see in a stadium. This huge, massive stage for it. And it's closed in parking lots, and there was just food vendors from all over Vegas, food trucks, craft beer.
I love food trucks.
It was a great time. So life was beautiful for that night, for a few hours that night. Now, I'm going to get to customer service for a minute and tell you the horror story.
Reality.
Okay. So what I did was... Green Day was going to play till 1 a.m., so I didn't want to have to drive home after. Okay. But I was only going to be in a hotel for a few hours. So I booked a Motel 6, which is in North Vegas, which is about a mile up the road. And when you go into North Vegas, you go up Las Vegas Boulevard, you go past the Neon Sign Museum, but then you get to where all the homeless are, right in that area. Mm-hmm. Well, the Motel 6 is right in that area.
Okay.
Well, it's a Studio 6, to be fair. Okay. This place, they did not leave the light on for you. Because I pull in.
All the lights are up.
There's police in the parking lot. And I get the story afterwards that they were there to kick out somebody that was there that damaged the room. But I made a reservation the day before, so I go up to the door, and there's a sign, no vacancy. Door's locked, can't get in. I'm just like standing out there, and I see employees walking out. I'm like, hey, excuse me, just walk past me. Mm-hmm. Don't, like, I wasn't even standing there. So I go to call the front desk. They don't pick up. So what do? I call the customer service line. And he goes, all right, let me call the front desk. And I was told at the time that there was water damage in the hotel. That's why they didn't have any rooms. I'm like, okay, well, I had a reservation. It would have been nice if they called ahead, I'm like, all right, do this for me. Book me into another Motel 6 in Vegas, okay? But I want to be locked into the same rate. Well, we can't do that. I'm like, why not? You're a Motel 6. Well, they're different owners for each property.
Franchise.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like, yeah, but you are the franchisee. I think you could make a call, make this happen. You're customer service. No, I can't. Can I speak to your supervisor? No, there's nobody available. Here's what I'll do. I'll get you booked into the room at this rate. You'll pay the rate at the hotel, and we will see what we can do. Call this number tomorrow, and then we'll try to refund you the difference. Okay. Because I didn't want to drive home that night. Meanwhile, my poor kid has to use the restroom while all this is going on. And I'm sitting there for like 35 minutes in the parking lot trying to resolve all this. So there's a Smith's right next door. So while I'm on the phone with customer service, I drive over to the Smith's. And in Vegas, you're still supposed to mask up in public, in supermarkets.
Yeah.
This was on me. My bad. I didn't have my mask on because I was kind of a little furious at this point. Customer service. So I walk in, and the lady's like, hey! I didn't think, it can't be me. I'm like, calling, okay, the restroom's right over there. She goes, hey, you can't be in here. I'm like, okay, my son just needs to use the restroom. Well, you can't be in here. I'm like, okay, can I go stand near the exit while he goes? No. I'm like,
dang.
Are you kidding me? And now I'm on the phone with customer service, and I'm like, are you hearing this? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, this is on you. This is on you. This is because of your company that I'm having to deal with this shit. And now I'm fucking pretty livid. So then Colin comes out. I'm like, well, that was quick for Colin. We get back in the car, and he's still trying to, make the reservation for me, which he does. So now I'm going to have to pay for parking. Now, I specifically chose that location so I wouldn't have to pay to park also. Now Colin goes, I hate to tell you this, but the restroom was closed. I'm like, okay. I'm sorry. I'm like, Colin, okay, it's not your fault. So I pulled to the first casino that I see, which was Circa, the new Circa. And
it's adults only.
I didn't know that though.
Oh.
So I paid.
So I was like, they're gonna.
I paid $45.
ID you.
Paid $45 to park. Okay. Mm-hmm. And that point, I didn't really care because I just wanted to get. Colin's gonna go with some. I didn't know that. I did not know that at the time. So I go in and they're IDing people. I'm going, oh, that's weird. Why are they IDing people?
Mm-hmm. At the door.
Yeah. So, well, no. What about him? I'm like, we're just gonna go in and use the restroom. No, you can't. It's 21 and over. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, come on. And I'm pleading with the girl. Look, he really needs to go. I'm like, do you have an employee's bathroom or something like that? No. I'm like, where can we go? I've already paid $45 to park. Oh, the casino 2 blocks over.
Or Plaza. It's like right across the street. I'll let you go.
Yeah, well, and we did. But at that point, it'd been over an hour. And the poor Colin's got tears in his eyes because he's been holding it for so long. But I don't know, it was just a string of clusterfucks. So the concert gets over, we go to the hotel, check in, blah, blah, blah. I paid $50 extra. And the next day, I made a post on Facebook about it. And in the comments, Motel 6 goes, we're here for you. What can we do to help? I'm like, all right, yeah, this is what happened. I'm sure you'll hear about it. And they respond. He goes, well, there's nothing we can really do on our end here. And I'm just going, okay, then why did you respond to me? And I took the time to type it out. They would private message us and explain the situation, which I did.
God.
All right, so the next day, I do what I was told and called and said, "Hey, this is a situation this way." Oh, yep, we see that. We see that. Well, there's nothing we can do because you've already paid for the room.
You could give me a free room next time. I mean, like, there's plenty you could do.
There's plenty you can do. And if you're in customer service, if there's absolutely nothing that you can do, and I understand that these poor employees had to deal with the wrath of me on the phone with them.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, look, this isn't you. But understand my frustration. I had to keep on saying it. Look, because I was really angry. I was like, look, I understand this isn't you. But let me speak to a supervisor. No, there's nobody here. It was just so frustrating. And what I said was, by that point, I was like, look, I just want the room for free. Well, we can't do that. And I'm like, yeah, yes, you can. Somebody can do something. The only resolution I had was the owner of the first place. What really happened was Motel 6 had just acquired the property that weekend, and they didn't even have the signage up on the building yet. And the hotel wasn't prepared for that many guests. I'm like, that could have been told to me, not the bullshit water damage story. The owner of the hotel where I first did agreed to reimburse me the $50 extra that it cost for the hotel, but I'm still not done yet because of all the aggravation and shit.
You should have asked him, you should have said, so last night, instead of calling and trying to figure this out, I should have just posted on social media that Motel 6 should eat a bowl of dicks, and then you guys would have been on it? God. Like, what the hell?
But I don't think that's, sorry for the long rant there, but I don't think that's fucking, like, customer service has just gone downhill so much lately. And why have customer service lines if the person that's on the line can't do anything for you anyways? The poor people got to sit there at minimum wage and just get yelled at by irate customers all day.
Well, that's like a job that's typically like already been outsourced, right? So it's like most of the customer service phone lines that you call aren't even technically in the United States. They're all...
Well, I'll just say this. I could understand everybody I was talking to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Without trying to say too much. Like, I was like, okay, this person has... And the first guy, the first day, he was really sympathetic, especially when he heard me and dismissed, getting me berated for not wearing my mask, which I should have been wearing a mask, but I was too irate at this other situation.
Should have known better in Nevada.
But it's such a simple...
Nevada's not Arizona.
I work customer service. I work customer service, though, and the simple solution is, what can you do to make this right? All right, just give me the rate that I was booked into. They could have done that. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean...
All right, so Motel 6, you're on notice, okay? You better make this right. And actually, all I wanted was a room voucher for another night. Like,
yeah, they could have given you a free room.
Yeah,
like, that's what I already suggested. That was the remedy.
Yeah, like the next time I'm in Vegas, give me another room. You know?
Or, well, they could be like anytime anywhere you here is good for one free night. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, my other kid wants to go to Vegas to see something. And I'm like, guy, just give me a free room that night. Mm-hmm. Anyway, all right. Hey, rant done. Sorry. It's the power of having a microphone in front of you, though. You get to fucking rant.
Right.
All right, so hot sauce. He's just wrapping up the pizza. He had a bigger appetite than the rest of us.
I didn't know my pizza. What you talking about, Willis? I finished that.
Hey, so you came from California?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ventura.
Which is where, again? I'm East Coast.
Between LA and Santa Barbara.
Okay.
So it's southern.
Okay.
SoCal.
And you had like an interesting pot story. Can you walk us through
I
that?
have a lot of interesting pot stories, but
All right.
Depends how far we want to go back.
Ah, hey. What do you feel like talking about?
So California legalized in '98 medicinally, and I had a friend that was heavily involved with that thing in Ventura County, and I had been involved with marijuana and looked into what it was and stuff like that, and I was an advocate of it, but not frontline. I was undercover. But this person talked me into becoming part of the group that made me also legal. So I was on the paperwork, which I didn't want to be because I wanted to stay undercover. But this person said, I'll just not put your name in, but give you the card. But on my paperwork, it doesn't say your name. It's just a blank spot. But you have the card that has your name on it, so you can go flash it if you want. So I said, okay. Well, I'm down in Ventura City, and I had probably 35 plants outdoors. I made a little greenhouse and stuff like that. And I had no neighbors in the backyard. It was the train tracks. So I just had neighbors on each side. One neighbor knew, of course, it wasn't hard to see over these 4.5-foot cheap fences. So they knew, and he had children, but he's like, hey, as long as you're not like, trying to pass it, I want some too. And the other side, that neighbor, because it was kind of new, now we're talking 2001, so it had been 3 years since the law had passed. And that neighbor was just kind of like normal. And back then, of course, the marijuana thing was a little bit iffy. Well, a neighbor a couple doors down, it was a young person, wanted to make her parental unit happy, called the cops. So Ventura police, the police, showed up at my door, knocked on my door. It was 9 o'clock in the evening. And said, yeah, we understand you're growing marijuana. And I said, yep. Why are you at my doorstep, though? And they're like, well, it's illegal. And I said, well, it's been 3 years, and if you think it's illegal, I don't know what you're doing being a police officer because you don't know your own law. And I guess they didn't because they arrested me. And so I didn't know nothing until the next day, which they let me out, and I walked home. And the neighbor that was kind of in between was like, oh, Mike, I heard what happened, and I'm sorry about that. That shouldn't have happened. So he was kind of on my side a little bit. He goes, but it was this person. And he pointed towards the next door neighbor. And I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't really matter. It happened. And they had taken all my outdoor plants. They had gone through my room, take all my smoking utensils and stuff, bongers or whatever. But they didn't go in my garage. In my garage, I had my indoor smaller things happening because I was continuing to grow and I wanted to just keep them growing. But we put the dogs in there, so they didn't want to go in the garage. They got the dogs. So they left all that alone. But anyway, they end up, I had to get a attorney and basically, make a ruckus about it. And a week later, they said, you can come get your stuff. But there's we're sorry we made a mistake about it. No, you can come get your stuff, that's it. So I went there and a bunch of the advocates of the 420 showed up with me. They're like, oh yeah, let's go to the cop station and get your stuff back, which, for them, that it was more of a mainstream type of thing that they wanted to do. They were into that advocacy, which I wasn't, so I felt in a bad spot for it. And I had a wife, and at the time, I think I had 3 kids at the time. But Then I had to go downstairs into that police station, and the officers weren't exactly being friendly, but they weren't being jerks either. They were just kind of flat-faced about it. But, they're kind of intimidating either way, big dudes or whatever sometimes, and they have a gun. So I went down in their little basement area or whatever, and sure enough, they gave me everything back. And I had glass utensils and stuff like that. And nothing was broken, which, I'm like, that's cool. Some of it's kind of expensive, $100 or so, or whatever. But then they gave me this big trash bag, and sure enough, that was all my plants that had been ripped out of the ground and then shoved into a bag and sat there for a week. And so I got outside, and Ventura County Star, the biggest paper in that area, was there. So I laid it all out, and they took pictures, and it was kind of cool on one hand because it was getting the word out more. It wasn't cool because it was mine, and it was ruined, and I had spent hours. I mean, that stuff, I don't know if you've ever tried to grow. It's not real easy. I mean, you have to spend a lot of time, which I had done, and it was really great stuff. Unfortunately, it was gone. So I was kind of, not very happy about how that went down. They did not give me a ticket. I'm trying to remember exactly. I don't think they ticketed me at all. I think they did ticket me possession or something like that, but it was thrown out really quickly or something like that. And the reason why I'm having a little hard time remembering, 01 was when that was. So that was 20 years ago. 03, I had moved up to Thousand Oaks, so same county, Ventura County, growing again in my backyard and indoors. And I noticed a helicopter flying around, every few days or so. And I can't exactly tell if it was a police or a sheriff or anything. I couldn't really tell, but I had a feeling it might be.
It's like that scene from Goodfellas when he's all paranoid that the helicopter was following him around.
Yeah. Well, and that's just, what the people I knew, some people were full on into that scene of, I am a human and I'm doing things that are on the law side. So, and they're out in the open about it. I mean, and here I am kind of trying to hide it, but they were picking on me for some reason. They had a thing about it. But this time, a sheriff, a marked car came up to my house, and I could see him driving by and stuff like that every once in a while, but I don't really care. I mean, I had stuff. I had a fourth child this time. Actually, the wife was 7 months pregnant with a fourth. That's what it was. And so, police officer comes to the door and goes, "Hey, is that your car over there or whatever?" I go, "No, I don't know what that is." He goes, "Okay," and left. Half hour later, my door's being knocked on. I look at the peephole, and there's like 25 people dressed in full riot gear with
like
rifles.
The SWAT team?
Total SWAT team. I'm like, are you kidding me? But it wasn't the actual SWAT. It was their SWAT equivalent.
Okay.
The Ventura County. And I'm looking at the people going, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? My wife homeschooled all my kids, and she's teaching them homeschooling, during the day. I'm like, what? Open the door. I go, let me see the warrant. He didn't care what I said. Just walked straight in. They all coming in. I'm sitting on the couch. They're going through all my stuff. I mean, they spent a couple hours, and it wasn't a terrible ransack, but they definitely went through my crap. I couldn't believe how much time they spent doing that. And I'm telling them, there's a couple plainclothes guys too, and they were the bosses or whatever, but and they're asking questions and stuff like that. And I'm like, what are you guys doing here? You guys busted me 2 years ago down in Ventura with the police, and now you're the sheriff doing the same thing. And it's been 5 years since this law has passed. And you guys still don't get it right? I don't get it. Well, you're only supposed to have Ventura County in this many amount. We think about this many plants. Where I'm like, California says 99. And you haven't said anything until you say something. I'm not breaking nothing. So this is so weird how it works. They go, I tell you what, why don't you pick out 10 of your favorite plants and we're going to take the rest. I'm like, are you serious? And they're like, yeah, we just think you have too many. And I'm like, whatever. So I go, I want those 10. They yank the rest. They take all my cash, which I told them I don't bank. I didn't bank then. And I'm not into that type of thing anyways, but I'm not super against it, but a little bit.
This sounds like Breaking Bad.
I know. No. It sounds like that show The Shield, and that's based off of a cop that was in the LA area. I'm like, I wonder if it's the same cop.
Yeah.
The main character, that Vic Mackey guy. The story is based off of a guy who used to do that. He used to do these drug busts, and they'd keep the money and a lot of the drugs.
Do you get a receipt for the cash or anything like that?
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. This one was in the LA Times. It was like all over.
Yes,
media.
this one was the LA Times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they go, okay, pick out 10, and they left my indoor stuff, and it was quite a nice room. I had 3 lights rotating, and it was great. They left it. They just wanted the bigger plants, and they were only like 4 feet tall, maybe, or something like that. Mm-hmm. And it was probably, I think it was like August, so they were starting to become something. And again, I had spent months on these things. I mean, or longer, obviously, probably, growing. But so then they leave. It'd been like 2 hours or something. They leave, and there was like 20 cops all together there with, like I said, shields, everything. I was like, are you kidding me? My wife's 7 months pregnant, and you come in with shields and rifles and riot gear, and I'm like, what? You think I'm gonna do something? Like throw pot at you or something? I mean, is that dangerous to you or what? But so that everyone left, and a couple of the big shots stuck around. I told them, look, you guys are, and a couple of them actually agreed. They said, we wouldn't, this is our job. It's not our decision, though. Mm-hmm. And so, I kind of felt like, a couple of them were a little bit just on my side a little bit and kind of understanding, because they saw that they had spent all this money, the copter, all these people, and all this time is spent, and for what? Yeah. The money, the tax money spent was through the roof. Mm-hmm. And then they walk without doing a thing. A month later, they send me a letter that says, oh, we think maybe you might be selling pot, which is illegal. I'm like, so I had to go to court. And I pled with them because my lawyer's like, look, they're going to push. And you never know, because if you have a panel of 12 people, it's up to them kind of, and you don't know if you get the wrong 12, they'll just go, oh, just bust him. Right. So I pled guilty to possession of over an ounce, and it was a felony for 1 year as long as I didn't get in trouble again, which I didn't. But I left California after that.
Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but I watched this documentary on, I forget which one it was, but it was on, it might have been the drug war one. And they were showing police going into the medical marijuana stores. Mm-hmm. And they would just close them down. And the guy behind the counter is like, they come in here once a month and do this, and then we'll be back up and open in a couple of days. But they do this all the time. They know that it's legal in the state. They come in here and they close it down on purpose. And then they have to go back and restart it up.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how much bullshit it was that they keep doing this. Yeah, and I think at the point that they had showed, at the time that they had made that documentary, it had been like you said, like pot had already been legal for like 5 years in the state for medical marijuana. And that's what this pot shop was doing. Because I don't think everyone's use in California didn't pass until like a few years ago, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So.
And so that's what led you to come here?
I not exactly to Arizona, but out of California. I ended up going to Oregon and Alaska and stuff like that. But
friendly states. Both friendly states. They were part of the 4 that were on board since the beginning of like the legal. It was like Colorado, Washington, Oregon, and Alaska, right? Right in the beginning.
Yeah,
I think.
At least Arizona just got their shit together this year.
Yeah, Arizona finally climbed on board. I mean, it should just be federally legal.
Yeah.
It should be actually like worldwide legal, as far as I'm concerned. Like it should be this whole like planet Earth legal.
Well, there's some movement in Washington to make it legal federally, but then there's another whole bunch of problems related to that with taxation, where there'll be even more taxation, and they're already running the growers and dispensaries are already barely making it because of all
the banking on it is
I think that's why they want it to be federally legal, so that the banking part, but
and the tax deductions too, they can take the
like I'm more for the federal legalization because we need to get people out of prison that are in prison for selling pot. It's ridiculous. I, as a taxpayer, do not want my tax dollars going to people who could be productive folks who should not be locked up.
Yeah,
non-violent offenders should be.
And I've always said that pot's a lot more harmless than alcohol. I mean, come on.
I know. You've never had somebody die from doing too much pot, from drinking too much? Oh yeah. Nicolas Cage. It happened. Maybe.
I never really knew anybody that grew in California when I was there, and then I heard his story, and I'm like, but it was legal. Just how they picked on him. I had no idea. So it was interesting.
I'm telling you, he might have been a victim of that guy that the show's based off of. It sounds like that.
It also sounds like kind of like that movie Training Day. Where you had Denzel's crew and you had like the rookie Ethan Hawke's character came in like, what the hell's going on here?
Corrupt cops.
Shit. Wow.
That's crazy.
All right, I think we're going to have to wrap this up though, because some of us have to go to work, which must be horrible. We're recording this like at 8:30 at night.
Yeah. I know.
Poor Bridget. But Mike, Hot Sauce, that was for some great stories, and hopefully we can have you on again.
He's got a bunch of them.
And see, you solve the problems of the world over you have a nice craft beer, some food, some pot talk, and everything's good.
Yep.
Life is beautiful.
Stay away from social media. Stay away from Motel 6s. And life's beautiful. So on that note, we'll wrap this up, and we will talk to you in the very near future.
Yeah.
Or maybe even before.
Bye, y'all.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.